So I think this apply. This definitely applied to 45.
Yeah, no question. I mean, it's clear his connection with other criminal types.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear that he's done in the past and currently doing has a criminal nature to it. It's
Oh yes,
undeniable.
absolutely. Right.
But how does he still keep
Diabolical
his
evil.
job?
White privilege.
That simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
That simple.
Well, since he won't read the names, I'll read the names of the people, unfortunately, that gave their lives overseas. There were Dustin Wright, 29, Jeremiah Johnson, 39, Brian Black, 35, and LaDavid Johnson, 25 years old. And, of course, our condolences go out to the family and friends of these people who gave
Absolutely.
the ultimate sacrifice.
Babies, young men, and just lost their lives. And, a phone call, a handwritten letter, a text message, because your mindset and mentality is so short, 140 characters is all you can handle. Okay. Do that then, damn it. Do a separate tweet for each one of those guys that lost their lives in 140 characters. Have they expanded it to the 280 yet? They were supposed to double that, the number of characters on Twitter.
No, they haven't.
But, it's easier for him to deflect and make us think about something other than what he's doing. So he constantly complains about President Barack Obama, what he did or didn't do. That shouldn't be your focus. That's a distraction. Right. That's some bullshit. Let's call it what it is. Because you don't have an original idea in your brain. You want to keep causing havoc and talking about stuff that makes no sense. More importantly, not true. Yeah, it is personal.
And it's all personal. Like, a case in point, look at this whole thing with the press and the media and television and NBC in particular. As we know, his funky show, The Apprentice, Celebrity Apprentice on NBC. So he has a personal beef with that. And then even his football ties in NFL. Years ago, he tried to purchase the Buffalo Bills organization football team and failed in that. So anytime you look at the timeline of this man and the reason why he is so dogmatic, more dogmatic, and goes after these things, it's always a personal thread with him.
Yeah.
Just check it out for yourself. There's always something personal, always some personal connection that he has.
Yep. Totally personal.
Yeah, damn shame.
Well,
and then a couple of shows, I'm going to cut you out real quick. A couple of shows I was watching when they were talking about this story with him being on Fox News radio, that some of the people that were on the show, like investigative reporters, were saying over the years, for example, during the Obama administration, yes, the president did go see various families of victims of war where family members were lost overseas or got killed, but that was not in the PR package. He told them, this is a private moment. I'm going to these various hospitals to meet in private.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about the access of a president in this situation. There are moments for the public and moments in private.
Sure.
But we're not dealing with your average person here. I don't even call him a person. At least persons or people have some sort of emotion or evoke emotion, or human feelings or compassion. I don't know what to call him, but it's all about him. Once again, to be in a position like that and to always make it about himself is more than narcissistic. They might have to create a whole new category for this guy.
You think?
Oh yes.
That man is so weird. It's scary.
It is scary. Well, I see why Carol gets upset. We joke around sometimes. I see why Carol gets upset because, I mean, you think about it, it's like all the nightmares that you ever had are coming true through him.
Yep. Plain and simple.
That's right.
Well, I just changed our video here. You got me on the left. That's where I live. And then you got two empty chairs on the right. that sums up our political landscape. Empty chairs on the right, doing nothing.
Yep.
You would think that this is a prime opportunity for the Republicans to do some good stuff, right?
Right.
They've got the power to push anything they want through. Have they? Nope. Some stuff. But it's like, really? Y'all want to destroy all of the good things that have been working for the past 8 years? Y'all want to destroy that? Really?
Oh, of course.
Have y'all been bought and paid for that deeply? Do you have one iota of goodness in your body? Do you give a damn about anything other than your own personal gain? Y'all cruising for a bruising. Plain and simple.
Man, we're all bringing out all the old colloquialisms.
You like that?
Cruising for a bruising, man. I had to resurrect that one my damn self.
And you know what, Mr. President? If you ain't got that swing, you ain't got a thing.
Oh, you going
Bob
way
Schwab,
back
Bob
now,
Schwab, Bob Schwab.
You need to quit, man.
You play golf every weekend, but your swing sucks.
It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing.
That's right.
You got that swing, baby. Swing, baby.
He has nothing but bovine.
Nada.
Straight up.
Bovine excrement.
Straight up, bro. Believe it. But what can we do about it? Do you think that
That's a good question.
the opposition to this president is mobilized enough? I mean, I get stuff every day, 3, 4, 5 things a day, various petitions. You know, do you think the president should be impeached? Grade the president. How do you think he's doing? And I participate in all of it. Every last thing that comes to me, I participate in it. My question is, are you doing the same? To the listeners of this broadcast, do you get information from the political landscape? I even get, every now and then, not often, I get stuff from the Republicans. And I tell them how I feel, honestly, openly. I don't know if they want to hear it, but at least they had the balls to send me a questionnaire to kind of grade their performance. And it's easy to respond to them because, you know, it's clear what they've done, nothing. But they got the power to do a lot of things good for this country, and they just refuse to do it. I'm sick and tired of the debate going back and forth about the health care package. Now they're moving towards the tax reform. Will anything get done? Are you telling me that the Affordable Health Care Act was so broken that you don't have the IQ, the ability to fix what was broken that you put in, by the way, Mr. Republicans? Alpha, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they have over 100 amendments to the Affordable Health Care Act?
Yes, they did.
So in the 100 amendments, suggestions from them, how many things did they put in there that really caused the problems that we're faced with now, like the ticking time bomb that they put in
there? Quite a few. They are famous for their poison pill. Mm-hmm. Now, don't forget that for 7 years, they've campaigned on not one Republican vote, not no Republican ideas, not any Republican ideas.
Right.
Which was a lie. And they formulated it in a dark room at night, in the dead of night, just like they tried to do with Trump Care.
Mm-hmm.
But only they were lying. So you have a 7-8 year history of Republicans filibustering jobs programs for veterans and middle class America, infrastructure, and they're calling Democrats obstructionists. If you notice, every time what he can't do comes up, they call Democrats obstructionists.
Yep.
Did you notice that Mitch McConnell has suspended the filibuster rule on judicial nominations? But Harry Reid was too chicken shit to do it. So they get to put in place lifetime appointments of their ideology. It's always an uphill battle because Democrats are weak and weak at messaging. And they don't have the spine to turn into the fight. And I guess after I hit the Powerball, none of this will matter to me. I'll just leave it alone. But until then...
Until then, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, you know, once you get that Kiss My Ass account from the Powerball, did anybody win it? What is it at now?
I think it's 153 or 156.
Well,
156 million.
Yeah, I wanted to get about
Googa Mooga.
Yeah, 200 million, then I'll win it. So if I don't show up to work one day after the Powerball,
Chris will be here.
Chris will be here. You and Chris and Carol. I'm going into the witness protection program at that point. You will never hear from me again.
Disappeared.
I'm gone. I'm February. You know what that is,
Ghost.
right?
Black History.
Black History.
Ghost.
I'm going to disappear. The FBI, CIA, and the Boy Scouts of America will not be able to find me.
Hell nope.
You might see me walking down Rodeo Drive. No, I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to put on a wig and a dress. No.
Right.
I ain't gonna do
Don't do that,
No, I ain't going to do it.
You said not a chance, huh?
No.
Because you would make an ugly-ass looking woman.
Oh,
right?
I would hurt the female persuasion. There we go. Ooh, that's an ugly bitch.
One thing they will be able to say about you the one thing they will be able to say about you is that, boy, she got hit. Oh.
She need to grow some bangs. Damn.
It's like, whoa, what the fuck? That's the show's an ugly bitch. Somebody scream out, bye, bitch.
Bye, bitch.
Bye, bitch.
Yeah. No,
no.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, folks. I lost my mind there for a minute. 150 to $200 million will make a cat do all kind of crazy shit. All kinds of crazy stuff. So I apologize, folks. I'm back to reality now.
That's great.
Woo wee. Wow. Well. Woo, that's an ugly woman. Damn. She needs somebody to help her. She needs to go to the same surgeon that Michael Jackson had or something. That's one ugly woman.
It sure is mannish looking.
Yeah.
Did you see where Donald Trump trying to cover his ass raised this issue? Could you ask General Kelly, did he get a call from Obama?
Well, he did, didn't he?
About that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he forced Kelly to tell a lie now?
Well, I don't think Kelly's going to dignify it. And the man is simply, he's the biggest worthless piece of shit I've ever seen in politics. Really, he is.
That's 100% accurate.
Yes.
100.
Well, I almost, and I use the word almost very strongly, I almost feel sorry for General Kelly when you see him when off to the side where the president starts to speak, and he says something stupid, which is all the time, and General Kelly puts his face into his hands.
So no, not a.
Oh my God, this right.
He's a moron.
I love it. It's great theater for me, man.
Yeah. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable.
It's like, what in the hell did I sign up for?
And people on the progressive side, where I'll make a call into a radio spot. They're sitting. They get tired of hearing me say, "How about you like Hillary now? You like Hillary now?"
Yeah. HowYouLikeMeNow.com.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You like Hillary now? You like Hillary now? I even had once because I made I was ranting on another.
You rant?
Sometimes.
No.
I was ranting on another show about the lesser of two evils is still evil. Mm. And I asked the question, when has this America never been evil? When has it ever been nothing but evil? When?
Yeah.
And no one has given me a sufficient answer. So
they can't.
The lesser of two evils was Hillary Clinton. And with Hillary Clinton, we wouldn't have to worry about the Affordable Care Act and all of the other things destructions that Trump has implemented. And all of these people who formed the circular firing squad, Bernie didn't get it. I was for Bernie, but I had political common sense enough to jump over and vote for Hillary, the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. I was in the same position.
And people wanted Jill Stein. Well, she was sitting at the same table with Mike Flynn. She was sitting at the Putin table.
Strange bedfellows. Fellows. This is like this Barack guy, going back to that breaking news, who's bailing out Weinstein, the freaky deaky. And they're all connected. There's a triangle there. Trump, Barack, not Barack, Barack, and Weinstein. There's some freaky deaky there.
What about the Jello boy? Let's throw the Jello boy, because everybody loves Jello. Let's throw the Jello boy over in there, too.
Well, who are you talking about?
Mr. Cosby.
Well, okay, but I mean, yeah, you could throw him in there from the alleged freaky deaky stuff, but I don't think Cosby would support Trump. Do you think?
Cosby, let me put it like this. Right now, you ask Bill Cosby if he supports Trump. He'll go, I don't know. He'll turn into Fat Albert right before your very eyes.
I don't know. I don't know if Bill. I don't think Bill would support Donald Trump.
He may not support him at all, but he's not going to answer it.
Well, yeah, because
he's under the radar. He's going to low fly.
Yeah, because he is low hanging fruit, easy to pick now.
Just ask OJ. Ask OJ if he supports Trump.
Well, he's out now, so he might tell Trump he kisses his brown ass.
Out and about.
Well, you talking about flying? So he's flying way under the radar.
Yeah.
He's under the sidewalk. He's in the sewer system.
He's been quiet as a church mouse too. There's another old one.
Well, except for the story that says he was searching for love at the Bunny Ranch in Nevada.
Oh, was that true? No.
Well, whether it was or not. I queued up the song from YouTube, Been So Long.
Wow. Unbelievable. There is an active shooter at Howard University. I just got that text message from Laura Rice. And let's see if we can verify that.
Let's see here.
Jeez.
Katie Kerr. Now they're carrying a Trump meeting with some jerk.
Who is that?
From out of
CNN?
town. That's MSNBC.
Okay.
I hardly watch CNN. They're notorious for bringing known liars. No, they're covering the Greek Prime Minister meeting with Trump, very productive. That's Donald Trump speaking. Everything's very productive. What did you talk about? You'll see. We'll tell you later. Some people say we had a great conversation. Many say it's been said. You'll see in a couple of weeks. You'll know. Figure it out. The man is a cartoon.
Yeah, the Washington Post is reporting that D.C. police investigates reports of shooting at Howard University. That's the headline of the story.
Oh, man.
There's a picture here. They got the guys out there with the long guns. Okay, the university president, Wayne Frederick, said that there was no evidence of any shooting as of 12:40 p.m. That's
those
Eastern
thugs,
time.
I tell you. Those thugs, they're just gangsters. Anything.
There were 3 buildings evacuated as police searched the area. So
And they got film of that. And the brothers and sisters wasn't running. They were walking with an attitude, looking over their shoulder, talking shit.
you're on a roll today.
Come on. Jesus.
Yeah, there's conflicting reporting here in this particular article from the Washington Post. The police are investigating it. The president of the school is saying, nah, there wasn't no shooting. That was just a loud fart.
Oh, he's just saying, huh?
Oh, boy. No.
Call it what you will.
Homeless man asked a woman to move, I guess, her Porsche so he could sleep. Then she shot him. Damn.
Say what?
Damn. He asked her to move the car so he could sleep. She evidently had a loud-ass Porsche making noise. And she shot the dude. Unbelievable. The things that people do, just slight overreaction there, honey. Just a tad.
Ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's a homeless lady that's made a shelter right next door to where I'm staying. And someone had put a sofa out on the trash. And this homeless lady, dragged the sofa over to where she wanted to build a shelter, turned it, kind of over on its side, cut all the leather off of the sofa. I assume she's using that internally. And she's made herself a home.
Another naked and afraid viewer.
Unbelievable. So, hey, look, I'm sympathetic to the homeless plight, the whole homeless thing here in Los Angeles. It's huge.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think I've heard estimates of in the 60,000.
God.
Hell, I remember living in a neighborhood there in Illinois that didn't even have 60,000 people. And
it's not hard to find here in Illinois. Just leave Cook County. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. I was in Will County out in Bolingbrook. That's where Woodridge, Bolingbrook, Naperville.
Yeah, they hand make banjos.
When I first moved out that way, most of those cities didn't have 50,000 people.
They make their own banjos, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All you got to do on your way by, you hear.
It's not that bad out there. Come on.
No, it's not that bad. Hey,
No.
Lee, what was that place you mentioned? Somewhere you mentioned, I think it was in Virginia, something like that, where, that kind of maybe activity still going on with the inbreeding or something like that.
That's West Virginia.
West Virginia, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Not to offend anybody in West Virginia or people who
No,
inbreed.
if you screw in your first cousin, you're a sick, twisted puppy. Or your sister.
well, I tell
your
you
mom.
what.
Now, I have to admit, I have some cousins that live right on the Virginia-North Carolina line. Finer than the finest wine.
That's fine.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
What was that Andre used to say, Lee? Finer than what? Frog's hair?
Yeah. That damn fool. Yeah. That's one of those kind of statements you go, what?
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck did he say?
Man, you so country.
Oh, my God, is he country?
So how is Andre? Have you heard from him?
Yeah, he's doing okay. I mean, he messed his back up. He's having back issues, but other than that, he's all right.
okay.
He survived the hurricane there in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
I was trying to get him to get out of there, but he stuck it out. And
Jim Backett, take it from me. Take it, as Al Gore would say, take it from me.
please.
Back issues is something else, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
no question. I don't have a serious back problem, but I do get, kind of a little lower backache from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
And left shoulder.
Does your backache? So when you're, let me put it like this: there's a backache, and then there's a backache. My back can ache. Matter of fact, it does every time I get up in the morning, and then I go back about 2, 3 o'clock and lay down to take a nap. I call it the old man's nap.
Right.
But that's just backache. When my back goes out, it's a spasm.
Yeah, that's
And
that's a different thing.
They had to come and get me up off the floor in my kitchen. The paramedics came to get me off the floor in my kitchen. And when they came in the door, I wasn't facing them. They were like above my head,
Mm-hmm.
I could hear them say, "Damn this big motherfucker." I thought I heard that.
Huh?
I thought I heard that. Because their job was to get me up and get me on the gurney.
Oh Lord!
But they were so smooth in doing it. They brought this little
mini crane.
It wasn't a board. It was like a thing with a thick leather, whatever, and they rolled me to one side and they stuffed it under me, and they rolled me to the other side, stuffed it under me. But each side of this thing had handles. And about 4 of them said, "Let's go."
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, it would be good if they could. In many cases, it probably wouldn't be useful or be able to use it, depending on how tight the quarters or the environment is. But a little crane would be good. To put some belts under you, and if you got somebody 300, 400, 500 pounds.
That's called a hoist.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
like a car tow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hoist. Yeah, like they do lifting motors.
Right. Right. Hoist that puppy up.
They used to do that when I first had my back and my spine infection. That's how they got me out of the bed, with a hoist. And they would sit me into a wheelchair. And I couldn't sit down. And I was on my elbows trying to relieve the weight. Man, you talking about hurt. I couldn't take my weight off my elbows and reach for something if someone was handing it to me.
Wow.
And part of my therapy was throwing a ball back and forth while I was sitting. Throwing a ball back and forth to the therapist. And I tell you, the pain itself, man, brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it. And I'll tell you, I'm the bitch of the pain because I'm afraid of it all to be damned. I'm sorry.
So you and pain are not good friends.
Me and pain, and I'm telling you, Lee, I'm telling you, you can have back problems. You can have back pain that kind of disables you a little bit, and you go sit down. But man, when you get this kind of pain that I get, everything stops. When I say everything stops, I've caught the pain before the spasm started, and had to be wheeled to my bed and forced myself to get up. And once I sat down on the bed, I needed someone to. I lifted the head of the bed, and as I leaned against it, and as I let the head of the bed down, somebody had to put my feet in the bed. That's how bad it hurts.
Yeah, that's bad.
And then I have to lay there. I have to lay there for about a half an hour before I can turn, I can pivot, I can do anything.
Now,
that's how bad it is.
Describe the pain in more detail, Alpha. Is it like a stabbing pain? Is it?
It's a pain that immobilizes you and runs from the base of your spine, from your tailbone, all the way halfway up your back.
So it goes up, not down. Okay.
It goes up. You're not allowed to do anything. When I say anything, all I could do last time it hit me, I was on my walker going to the bathroom, and it hit me. All I could do was slump to the floor. And once and I got to the floor on my knee, on one knee, and all I could do was have them move the damn walker so I could lay down on the floor until the paramedics got there to get my ass up.
Well, those are the kind of issues that, especially for people who live alone. My sister Margaret, who is no longer with us, was living alone, and she apparently had I don't know if it was a seizure or something, but she passed out. She suffered from diabetes, and she was, not heard from for more than a half a day, and then a neighbor, one of her friends, kept calling her, and Margaret wasn't answering the phone. So she ended up going by the house, and the door was locked. So she got the landlord to come over and open the door. And they found her laying in the floor, unconscious. So, I'm very sensitive to these kind of situations, especially with people living alone and have medical issues. Because things like that do happen. And
yes.
She never came out of that coma. They said she went into a diabetic coma, I guess it was.
Right.
And
see, Lee, those are the kinds of situations where, they have these medical alert buttons go around your neck. I've got one, but it's around my neck, and I'm laying in the bed, and I'm awakened in the middle of the night by this alarm. And I've pressed this thing around my neck, and I got it tangled up, and I'm laying on it or something. But the damn alarm is going off in the front. I'm in my bedroom, and the panel is in the front, and they're asking through the panel, "Are you okay? Are you?" And here's the killing part about it. I'm laying back in the bed, and I go, "Yeah, I'm all right." And I gave them my passcode and everything to cancel the emergency vehicle response.
Right.
And I'm saying to myself, there's got to be a better way. But all the while this is going on, the alarm is still going off. And what's so cool about this alarm is it's an app on my phone, and I can go into the app on my phone and shut it off.
Okay.
Yeah. But they've got all kind of stuff now for people who live alone. As a matter of fact, I finally got a guy coming out Thursday because one of the things that put torque on my back is rolling in this wheelchair when I want to go somewhere. Foot walking, and using my hands to roll.
Yeah.
So I got a hover round coming, or they fit me for a hover round. So.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, if I get to the situation where I need that kind of attention, I'm gonna have to rent somebody. They're gonna have to live with me. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I'm doing now. My son and his wife.
Yeah.
Although she brings plenty of baggage, you know.
You
notice the timbre in his voice changed?
Yeah, man.
It was
You
like,
gotta live with some
brings a
bovine in
lot
the
of
meantime. Huh?
Right. Yeah, a lot
Well,
of
well,
baggage.
you got to know how to tell the story. You know?
Okay.
I'm that person that tells the story, and if I'm lying on you, every time I tell the story, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, that's the way the story ought to be told. You know,
Yeah.
you can't tell the
Right.
story the same way every time. You got to
That's
embellish
true.
it.
Oh, no, it ain't.
You got to put a little flowers on it. You know.
Right. You're right about that.
Yeah.
I was thinking what you said. I was thinking what you said about possibly the whole thing about the when you pick up a person, say it's a medical situation in an ambulance, and the first responders get there, and then you see somebody laying there, say on the floor, and they happen to be overweight and they're big. It's like, okay, Georgia, go out and get the flatbed. We're gonna get the flatbed instead, and
Yeah, yeah.
and then bring that big person on. Speaking of full body frequency, you can catch full body frequency every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on thepowervoices.com.
What the hell? She pay you to do that? What how'd you
Yeah,
pull
no,
that
I
out of
was
the
saying about
sky?
the big person.
Wait,
on-
wait.
How did
Who's
that
full
come
body
out?
frequency? Who is this, Lee? Who's the
The
head
host?
of that? Who?
Oh, no, I was saying because we were talking about a big person lying on the floor
No.
How
Lee,
did you
who's
get
the
full
host?
body frequency out of that?
because the person's fat.
Who's the host, Lee?
Were you? I mean, were you thinking maybe you get down on the floor with her?
No. I was thinking just because
What?
the person was big, I'm like, oh, okay, well that's a good frequency, topic to be discussed on the show. I can pass
Oh,
it to her.
okay,
See if she's
okay.
not.
Now I understand. 'Cause
Yeah, there's a fat ass
okay.
person on the floor.
Chris, who's the host?
I don't want to talk about it right now. But the fat person on the floor, laying down there, can be a topic for
Lord have
the
mercy.
full body frequency
Lee,
that airs on thepowervoices.com.
These
Lee, you don't
characters.
have to say yes. You don't have to say yes or no. Just wink once for yes and twice for no. Is it Laura Rice?
Yeah, it's Laura Rice. She hosts the show. Yeah.
Also,
I don't want to be a
Lee
party
wink,
to
okay?
this crime. Wow. So that's
Chris, you gonna
interesting
get
how you
it?
tied that together there, Mr. Bass.
I try. I try.
No, you did
Ooh-wee.
a clever job there.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah,
You gonna get
I'm just
it?
saying. She knows where you live.
I did what now? I'm sorry. I did what now? What now?
It was very clever how you pulled that.
Oh,
together.
thank.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
This-
Yeah.
But
the
I-
segue was impeccable.
It was.
Oh, stop.
I mean, it was so smooth. I had to rewind and like, how did we get here?
Ooh, Chris, you
That
gonna
was-
get it?
That was
No,
like,
but see, let me explain. As you know, this is how we rock and roll, and we all started with her because I've known her since my time at BEE, which was the early '90s. That's how we met. And once again, I reiterate: when I met her family, I see why she is the way she is. Her whole family always verbally swing on each other, especially her brother. So I'm like, okay, you can't control the environment you came from. So I get it. So I had to communicate that way with her because that's how she communicates in general. She swings on
Oh,
me.
well, I got to get out there to her place.
There you go.
I'm tired of swinging on the same people. I got
Get new people to swing on, right?
Damn right,
Yeah.
damn right.
you've knocked them all out by now that you've been swinging on.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow, you guys are
I'm-
mean.
When they hear me holler for help, they come upstairs with torches and pitchforks.
Hmm.
I'm like, damn.
That's crazy. I'm trying to get in touch with my my friend Armando Rivera. What the hell?
Maybe he's got call ID.
Wow, this is really crazy. Live on the Lee Michaels Show. It's like Star Wars, baby. Wow, this is really crazy. Live on the Lee Michaels Show. It's like Star Wars, baby. Wow, this is really crazy. Live on the Lee Michaels Show. It's like Star Wars, baby. Wow.
It's like Star Wars, baby.
That it's one of these things in Messenger. It puts like a hoodie on your head and
Oh, okay.
That's what that was. So I don't know. Did I send that out or? I don't know. I don't know. It just popped up on my screen. You know, I'm a sucker for toys. Or just a sucker, one or the other.
Oh, okay. I saw a post on Facebook from Laura Rice. It's prayers, our brothers and sisters at Howard University.
But was there a shooting or not?
She's putting out prayers, and that was 49 minutes ago. So
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I expected her to be on the phone right after what Chris did.
Yeah. She must not be listening.
Yeah, well, she want to thank me for the promotion. Yeah, go right ahead. Thank me. That was a good promotion for her program.
It was kind of crafty.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's tomorrow at noon, right after the show. Noon Pacific time.
There you go.
The Full Body Frequency
right.
show will be live right here.
Does she have Source Connect too, Lee?
Yeah, she does.
Oh, really?
Yep. I don't know if she has her equipment set up, but yeah, she does. I communicate with her through that as well as Skype and the telephony.
Well, speaking of her equipment, how is her equipment, Chris?
Ooh, boom, 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 bam. Crash.
Let's see.
Cha-ya-ya.
Let's see. Don't know, don't want to know.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, no, it's the truth. Now, you talk about, see, here's the thing. See, everybody got selective truth. Now, Alpha just said he talks about truth. I know, Lee, you're truthful until you split your mind half in two. And then with me, I speak truth as well.
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah. So, you know how you are. We turn to Uber, Lee.
Yeah, well, that's, you know. That's when I'm on sodium pentothal.
Well, that's your story, right?
Or something.
Or something.
Yeah. I'm on something.
Right.
When I just can't hold back. The truth comes out and like, you know, you just start spilling your guts.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. That's when the Uber Lee comes out.
Oh, I'm telling you, I witnessed it.
Yeah. I'm scared of that guy.
How long have you known him?
They've been knowing each other all their lives.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm
So
a
you should be
Gemini,
used to
so
it by now.
that's what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
See, there's two personalities. It's the cool, calm, collected guy that you hear right now.
That's right.
And then that moron comes out. The wow man.
That dude's hilarious.
Yeah. And the girls kind of like him. I don't know why.
There you go, man. Because because look, look him, or you will classify the second person.
Yeah,
he knows on third person. He is out there. He verbally is bucket naked.
Yeah,
just
no
completely
shame.
out there, and that could be unattractive, to the ladies.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's some or most girls like the bad boy image in guys.
Of course they do.
Yeah,
right.
When I see
naked?
fine, good looking,
that's right, sir.
Fine, good looking girls on the back of a motorcycle, and this guy is all tatted up and everything, looking like something dug out of a grave. I'm going, how did he get her? How did that work? Wow. What the hell? So I think it's that tough bad guy thing.
Yeah, I go along with that.
You think that still exists today? I mean, as much as it used to be? Because I remember once upon a time, boy, if you didn't have, that bad tough guy look, you couldn't get arrested. Mr. Nice Guy was a lonely man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Nice Guy's always a lonely man until the age of 40 and 50 and wealth.
And then what?
Yeah, that's true.
And wealth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
like
then
your
everybody's
president.
sitting around going, I made a bad mistake. Once they see the wealth kick in.
Now, there's a rumor going around, and there's some pictures that kind of indicate that the First Lady may have a double. And It's a bad double at that because she.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that?
I've seen that. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it. It's a bad nose bridge and
Yeah.
wig and the sunglasses.
Who
Right.
gives a damn? As long as she holds it in her mouth till the swelling goes down. Nobody's fault of that.
Damn.
Wee.
What
Now,
did he
see,
say?
I like that one better than the other one he told.
Wow.
What other one,
Damn.
Chris?
I don't want to talk about it right now.
Do you know what he's referring to, Lee? Because I don't remember.
No.
That's all right. You throw so many bombs, you forget.
Well, I'm just, we freestyle,
Well, you definitely freestyled all right.
My name is Bennett, and I'm not in it.
My name is Chris, and I ain't involved in this.
That was pretty quick.
I told you, man. I took my medicine. Unlike certain people that do the show, but
Oh, here you go. I have to say it, and maybe I should be, but I'm on 0 medications.
well, that's good for you, man.
Yeah, man. And that's why I won't go to the doctor because I know they're going to try to put
Come on, Lee.
some drugs on me.
Zero medication? You on zero medication?
I take nothing. 0. Nothing. Nothing.
You don't.
Why are you
don't even
surprised?
You don't take the hair growth pill.
Shit. If I did, I'd have some hair. Are you kidding me? I mean, is this enough damn proof for you? Look at this. Look,
I didn't say they were good ones.
I got more
didn't say
skulls
they
than
were-
a skeleton.
You
Shit.
You
Are you
remember-
kidding me?
remember the fairy tale Jack and the Beanstalk, where they sent the little boy with the cow and the man gave him some beans?
Yeah, no, man. Listen, if I was taking something to grow hair, I'd have some. I have none. In most of my head. You see this bald spot here, the forehead is like trying to meet the donut in the back. And I have a conversation with these two guys all the time. I say, "Will you guys cut it out? Just stop.
They're getting closer together.
Stop, damn it." I'll be looking like what was it? Clarabelle. No, what was it? Bozo.
Bozo.
Bozam.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
We're gonna get you some big red shoes and a big red nose
Okay, cut it out.
for the program.
All right,
Okay.
that's enough. You've gone too far now. Cut the bullshit out now. Right now. As my mom would say, boy, you need to stop, and I mean it right now. Okay, Mom.
Not now.
Right now.
But
right now.
Right now.
Right. I'm not playing. And there was nothing but silence after that from me. I
You know
knew
you're
when to
serious
shut
person.
up.
Well, you know it got serious when we start cussing like you just did. It's like, all right, back it up now. Now cut the shit.
That's right. You brought Uber Lee out.
Leah will disconnect your source connect, and you just
That's
effed
right.
after
You'd
that.
be February.
That's right. You read Black History.
That's right.
At least Leah ghosts you right quick.
Right quick. Quick, fast, and in a rush, and no shame in my
Don't
game.
worry. That's right. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Don't worry.
That's right.
His vision ain't blurry.
You know what, Lee?
What?
When you say right quick, no shame in your game, you remember back on U.S. Talk Network when they were on you, they were teasing you about these two guys you had to let go when you were the program director somewhere.
Shit, which
And it
two?
was that's what I'm saying. Lee didn't blink, and we used to tease him about it, and he still didn't blink.
Yeah, I had to let a few of them go. That I did. It was, and I hated doing it. Because when you fire someone, and I can say everybody that I had to fire deserved to be fired.
You know what?
What?
I don't mean to change the subject, but this is coming across CNN. Bipartisan senators reach health care deal. Trump endorses it. You got Schumer standing there with Bernie Sanders and look like White House. So I hope they have some input on this deal. But I'm of this nature. I'm like, you don't deal with him. I don't give a damn what he proposes. But if this is a fix for the Affordable Care Act, I didn't get it all, and it's just coming across now. And I can rewind this puppy and hear it all later. But
so there's a bipartisan deal.
Bipartisan senators reach health care deal Trump endorses. And I'm going to back it up so I can kind of hear it.
Okay, I'm looking for that now. Where
yeah,
you
Senator,
what's the
Senator
source?
Chuck Schumer.
What's the source?
CNN.
CNN?
CNN.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull it up and bring it up on this end here. Boom, boom, boom. Well, I hope that it is a good thing. We got somebody calling in here. Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show. Who do we have?
Lee, hi, it's Mondo.
Hey, Mondo. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good, man. I was sharing with our audience in the beginning of the show a bit of our conversation that we had last night about your findings about the situation down in Puerto Rico. You own property there and you have family there, correct?
Yes.
So share with the audience, Armando, what you know.
Okay, this is coming from my cousin who lives in Rincon. It's on the west side of the island. He was able to reach us. He actually called my sister 9 days after the hurricane had hit. He was able to. I don't know how he got reception because everything was down at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, he told my sister the fact that and on that part of the island that it was destroyed basically.
Mm-hmm.
The bridge out in Maya West had collapsed. The house that I own is close to the beach area. The waves coming in were 8 feet high. The whole ocean, the lady who I rent the house to, she said the whole ocean came in, okay, and that also the river had flooded. But what really disturbed me from what my sister told me about her conversation with him was the fact that the stench was so bad from carcasses and dead bodies. People had died and the bodies were decomposing, that he said that people were burying family members in their yards because they had nowhere to take them. The funeral homes had no electricity. They had no means of transportation. Roads were cut off because of all the destruction from the trees on the roads and things of that nature. So you kind of like were isolated and stuff. So, like I was saying last night, it was really disturbing when Trump goes and says the fact that, only 16 have died. That's 16 people that they had actually done autopsies on. But there's a lot more people that have passed away that has gone unreported because the autopsies haven't been done. You saw that number had jumped right away. As soon as he hopped on the plane, it had popped up to number 34. It's probably at really around 200. I read an article that they said may even be as high as 450 at this point in time. But, that's not being reported in that manner. It's just the bottom line is the whole island was destroyed. And the
communication it has been decimated. No water, no electricity. The electricity percentage they're claiming now is what, 15%?
85%.
85% still out.
No electricity. Yeah, 85% out. Yes, look. The thing of the matter is the fact that it took people back like 100 years. Okay,
right.
You're just totally cut off.
Well, let me ask you a question. San Juan is the main city there. That's where is that where the majority of the population lives, or is it outside of San Juan?
Let's put it. San Juan gets pretty much everything because that's where all the tourism predominantly happens.
Right.
It's a big city. Let's face it, in that matter. But you have all these countrysides, like in Añasco, where I was born, where my house is at. There were mudslides that just slid off the mountain and have covered up the roads. So you got to have.
Now, how far is that from San Juan?
Well,
where
San
your
Juan
property
is up. Yeah, San Juan is up on like kind of like almost like a little bit on the north side, up north, northeast side.
Right.
I'm way on the west side of the island coastline.
Okay.
Almost a little northwest. So in driving, going to the toll roads, it takes 2.5 hours. If you don't take the toll roads, it's a 3-hour drive.
Okay.
Trek. In that regard, Puerto Rico has a lot of winding roads and a lot of mountainous area and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is that supplies were not being distributed out to the countryside. Everything was coming into San Juan. Now, Trump can go and say, "Oh, well, they got to have their own truck drivers drive the material over there." Well, there's an issue. You have some truck drivers that weren't getting the message of where to go.
Right.
You have them dealing with their family issues, with
their own personal things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Survival.
My cousin does construction in Puerto Rico. His roof was blown off. Okay, he don't have a roof. Okay, all right.
And you can't get to supplies to rebuild a roof. So it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts what's going on down there, and unfortunately, there's evidently not enough media. I've seen CNN and some of the others out there interviewing people, and they were showing how a truck would come up with water, for example, and there's hundreds of people standing in line to receive the water, and there's not enough water on the truck to satisfy the needs. So these people, there may be 100 people left standing in line for something that they can't get because there's no supply for it. Now, that was maybe 8-9 days ago. But chances are those conditions have not improved because the lack of communication where your property is and up in the mountainous area, there are people that have no communication with San Juan or the port area. So there's no knowledge that they are out there and what the needs are. The problem I have with that, I mean, that's obviously the problem. But the problem I have with that is evidently there's not enough air support, helicopters, to go into these remote areas, land, find out what the conditions are, what's needed. But you got to be able to assume that food and water and first aid has got to be a major need everywhere. So any kind of transportation, whether it's in the air or on the ground, should have an abundance of those type of resources available. And for all this time, for people still not to have access to water, and the water that they're drinking is from the mountains that has pollution in it and all kinds of bacteria, people are getting sick from that. Yeah.
What should have happened was that immediately. Now you got to realize you had Irma right before Maria.
Right.
So like there was
double banger.
There were some people that had no electricity because of Hurricane Irma. In fact, I know one person who had only 24 hours of electricity before Hurricane Maria came and knocked everything out again. All right. Right after the hurricane happened, it had passed. I think there should have been a stronger presence of the military. Okay, gone in, cleared out these roads, all right, so people could get from one part of the island to the next. Bring in the trucks, clear out the roads initially, because that was part of the problem, getting stuff from one area to the other.
Right.
There were some folks from FEMA going out to the countryside to do an assessment. Well, hell, if you're going out there, take something with your ass, okay?
Exactly.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Why go out there and do an assessment? Okay, we'll be back in a couple of days with what we need to bring here. No, these folks ain't got no food. Their lives have totally been destroyed.
Yeah.
And, I don't know how many folks have insurance for their houses. You know what I mean? Flood insurance and that kind. I mean,
sure.
Jesus.
Temporary communication could be set up. By now, they should have 5,000 satellite phones out there and have them at central locations with a FEMA executive or not executive, but worker or whoever that will allow people to have access to some type of communication so they can communicate with their friends in different parts of Puerto Rico, friends and family members, and even outside of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
That's a simple fix.
Yeah. And there was a problem with the gas initially as well too.
Yeah.
That has improved, from what it was initially. But what happened was that you had these gas stations that were operating off of generators,
Right.
and then the generators would overheat, and then they'd have to shut it down to let it cool down. And you had these folks waiting in line for 6, 10, 12 hours a day to go get gas. And then there was the other issue of buying stuff. If you wanted to buy something, you had to buy it with cash. The banks were only giving you $50. You could only, if you went to the bank, you could only get $50. And you can't use a credit card at the time, because there's no electricity.
Exactly.
So, and then you got the little thugs, whatever, jumping the line from the gas stations and stuff, and creating chaos, Yeah.
Out of desperation. Survival.
And just my cousin told me that in Rincon that the post office generator was stolen. You know what I mean?
Right.
People are in survival mode, so they're scrambling around, and so the post office couldn't open up as a result of that and stuff.
Now,
because,
how
like
are you
I said,
able to communicate with your cousin?
He's only reached us one time, Lee. That was the one time that he called my sister.
Oh, okay.
My godmother lives next to the house that I rent, and I have not been able to communicate with her. And it's going on Hurricane, it hit almost 4 weeks ago, and I have still not talked to her yet. Okay? The tenant for the house, she managed to get to San Juan, where her daughter lives, and she ended up, I ended up having a conversation with her.
Okay.
Fortunately, my house is kind of like on stilts, so that where the living area is like on a second floor.
All right.
Okay? So that the house did not have the damage from the waters, because my godmother's house is on the ground level, like a ranch house. She said her house was decimated. Okay, remember.
Now, do you know if she was in the house when the hurricane hit?
My cousin said that he feels as though that she had evacuated, because before he called and made contact with my sister, that he went by the properties and stuff, and he said that nobody was there, so he feels as though that she had evacuated and had gotten out.
Good. Let's hope that's the case.
Before it had hit and stuff.
Yeah.
Because these properties here are, you like, for example, from my house, you walk like 2 houses down and make a right, cross the street, and you're in the public beach area. It's a public beach, so you got the parking lot for the public beach and all that other stuff. So that might be like several hundred yards away, and the tenant who rents my house, she said the ocean had come in. It's like the ocean was underneath the house.
Wow.
And then a river had flooded, and there's still flooding going on right now, because you have an issue with the hurricane had destroyed all these trees without leaves, that now when it rains, there's a lot of flooding going on, because leaves aren't capturing a lot of the rain and stuff. I was watching some videos online, and there's rivers still overflowing, and roads which still need repair. The whole island's basically got to get rebuilt, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
In a nutshell. And I don't think, when you have Trump going and making his comments, making it seem as though that it's a lot more serious than what people realize.
Of course.
Okay? A lot more. And, people up in San Juan can only, they can make cell phone connection, but it's not like you can do it from the house. They actually drive to different parts of the freeway and pull over where they can get a connection, and then they make calls from there and throw on some AC in the house, in the house, in the car.
In the car, yeah.
We've been softened as we've been accustomed to having air conditioning and all that other things. Because, 100 years ago, there was no AC in Puerto Rico. And stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But you got, that's why I say everything has gone back to like, the 1920s, 1930s, people washing their clothes in the rivers and things of that nature.
Sure.
Just trying to survive. But, a lot of the, back in the day, Puerto Rico, you got all this kind of vegetation, bananas, mangoes, oranges, whatever, but all that's gone. All that got wiped out,
Yeah. Everything. You sent me a video of the rainforest, and I talked about that a little earlier. But, I mean, you showed a before and after video. Yeah. And there was nothing left. Just
it's
gone.
All brown. It's all brown. It looks like there was an apocalypse.
Yeah.
Okay? That's El Yunque, which is the only natural rainforest outside of Hawaii, or, United States and United States territories.
Amazing.
But you could, it was just you look at it and it looked like everything was brown, like everything had been burned.
No leaves on the trees. Most of the trees were gone. One or two tree trunks was left, and it's like a bomb dropped and just wiped out everything.
Yes. Totally decimated.
Now tell the audience about the weather vane or the instrument that measures the speed of the wind.
Yeah, they have those devices which measure the speed of the winds for the hurricanes and stuff. But the winds were so strong it broke it. I think they said it was maybe around 180, 185 when it had broke, but they said actually the winds were probably closer to 200 miles, 195 to 200 miles an hour.
That's huge.
But they don't have that on record because the device that measures it
was destroyed.
Was broken by the by the hurricane.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean it's
that's devastating.
Absolutely terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Very little, and I'm surprised that your house is still standing. I know it's up on stilts.
Yeah, it's built from cement. I mean, cement blocks. You know what I mean? Any house with wood destroyed.
Right.
Okay, but this house is all cement. We built it. Me and my mom designed it back in the early '90s and stuff. Because again, we were so close to the ocean and stuff. In that regard, but Puerto Rico's never faced anything like this. Probably.
Now, how
going back
how far off the ground is this house? Is it like 10, 12 feet in the air? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's high. Yeah. You got to walk up the stairs. Now, the house is designed that you could have I could close off the bottom part and create a two-story house.
Gotcha.
But the living area is up on top. It's kind of like, the tenants actually drive their vehicle underneath it. You know what I mean? To park the vehicle. But it's designed to be enclosed and be a two-story house.
Yeah.
From the area where they park the car, we have a stairwell that goes up. But that probably they blocked it off with the sandbags and stuff like that, so that no water could come up in that area.
Gotcha.
But the house. Yeah. So it's like. Like you have a two-story house.
Right.
But the living area is up on the second floor.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. If I had on the first floor, it'd be totally destroyed.
Oh yeah, you'd be wiped out.
Yeah.
Well,
also one other thing, I don't think people realize this, but there's been a lot of earthquakes. On the smaller scale, I think from 2.0 to 4.3, and in this is going back several days, in a 29-day period. I had seen 9 earthquakes around Puerto Rico.
Wow!
A lot of them being on the west side, and a couple up on the island on the south side. The southwest side of the island as well too. And that's something that I just wonder whether or not there is a relation. The hurricanes and who knows what's going on the ground underneath the ocean and stuff like that. But I mean, there was a 4.3 just at the end of last week, which was out 14 miles outside of going in the ocean. Okay, and we don't need to have a 6.0 on the island. Okay,
no. That would. At that point, it's time to get every helicopter in the world to go in there and get everybody off that island. Because it's, and I don't know what kind of evacuation process is in place of people who want to get out of there that may have family members here on the mainland. And are the airports open yet?
Yeah, they are open. And I know that I had heard when, before Hurricane Maria came, that there was such a mandate, that if you can evacuate the island, that airlines were giving free flights off the island before Maria hit. But not everybody could,
could do that.
Yeah.
Or one or two or whatever.
You got a lot of poor people that don't have a car, don't have a lot of folks, don't have the luxuries that we have here stateside.
True.
Truth be told, I mean, we take for granted that we may have a car and stuff, but, a lot of folks over there,
right.
Depend on other people for transportation. And you got a lot of other folks, too, as well.
So, Armando, you are a broadcaster. You and I have known each other, since 1981 or so?
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to speak to the president what would you want him to hear from you?
The first thing that comes to my mind, I probably wouldn't say this to be respectful, but first thing I would say, stop being an insensitive son of a bitch, okay? All right? All right?
Okay.
Let's just cut to the chase on that regard. But the fact of the matter is stop treating Puerto Ricans as second-class citizens, okay? Even though people on the island can't vote for the presidency and we don't have electoral votes, it feels as though that, look, my sister lives in Houston. My nephew lives in Houston, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they went through Hurricane Harvey,
Mm-hmm.
all right? So Hurricane Harvey and and Florida, those were handled a lot better than what Puerto Rico was handled, okay?
Right.
When you got him not addressing the issue for 4 days over a weekend because he's out busy golfing and not attending to the issues at hand,
Right.
okay, in regard to get the military over there and let's, get on top of this here. That's, a lot of folks, a lot of Puerto Ricans feel as though that he has been lackadaisical and hasn't been on the forefront of what had happened on the island. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That it was a nonchalant attitude and still nonchalant, okay?
Yeah.
And then, look, I've seen videos left and right, of people living on the island that have been working together, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to, clear the roads, families, having other families come in and move in with them because their house has been destroyed. So people are working together, okay?
Sure.
And he making it seem as though that, Puerto Ricans, just, want, the government to do everything.
Right.
This is a crop of shit.
Now, I was offended when he went over there and he was tossing out paper towels to the people there. How did that impact on you?
It shows that he doesn't understand what really was going on the island, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Look, they go and they go and do the press conference over there in San Juan, and then he goes to a suburb, which happens to be a rich suburb on the island, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go they needed to take his ass up on a helicopter and go either in the middle of the island or on the west side of the island to see what was really happening, okay?
Right.
That, in my opinion, this was just all for show. Okay, I went over there because I'm president. I'm supposed to go over there, and I can say I went over there and I saw and I dressed, and everybody's doing a good job, yada, 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 yada.
Exactly.
Okay? I mean, no, man. I don't look at him as a leader because the leader goes in and says, let me see what's actually happening on ground level. He didn't go in on what's happening on ground level. He was there for the cameras, Lee. I mean,
Of course.
And yes, we get an A+. You can get no damn A+. Shit, the guy who said he got an A+, that was before Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico. Okay?
Exactly.
I'm like, give me a break.
Yeah, he's been doing nothing but showboating and lying. My daughter lives in Richmond, Texas, which is just south of Houston. And I've told the story numerous times, but she got about 9 inches of water in her house. It'll be 4 months before they can move back in. And just 3 or 4 days ago, they finally got a FEMA investigator to come and look at the house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So one or two things is happening. You don't have enough FEMA support on the ground. Now, this is Houston. I'm not talking Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Houston. And she said there's still people on her block where her house is still hasn't heard from FEMA. So, he said, well, we got an A+ in Texas and A+ in Florida. Well, I can't give you an A+, dog, because people are still waiting for FEMA to come in and validate the damage so they can move forward with their lives.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he has manipulated the media big time. And I said it earlier in the show, and we got to get ready to get out of here, but if you go to his Twitter account, there's 40 million people following him, and he's only following 40 people. All of them are either family members or right-wingers. So he doesn't give a damn about anybody that's not all up in his colon. So with that, thank you, Armando, for coming in and shedding some real truth about what's going on down in Puerto Rico. And I hope and pray for all of your family members there are okay, and they will get back on their feet sooner rather than later. And don't be afraid to call back in when you get some new communication from the island. By all means, call us up and share that with our audience.
That sounds good, Lee.
All right, partner. Talk to you later.
All right. All right, bye.
Well, there you go, folks. That's from someone who owns property in Puerto Rico. He has family members there, and he's only had one opportunity for communication. So it's still a bad, horrible situation in Puerto Rico. So let's continue to pray for them, and let's also pray for the people in the Virgin Islands and the other islands that are not associated with the United States of America. They are humans, and they need help. Let's do what we can. God bless all of you. Thank you, Chris and Alfo, for chiming in today. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow, hopefully.
All right.
If the creek don't rise and we breathe our last breath, let's hope and pray that we can continue to do what we're doing to spread the light on the truth. Until then, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time, be peaceful. And remember, you ain't got a thing if you ain't got that swing. Bop shwa, bop shwa, bop shwa.